Good evening there, everybody. What is happening? Hopefully, you all are having a wonderful day today. So, today I thought that I would talk about the Vasyl Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez fight. This is a very good fight. In my opinion, this is a super fight. It is a unification bout. It's a fight between two A-class fighters, and it's also an opportunity, in my opinion, to see the number one pound for pound boxer on the grand stage. This is going to be the fifth big fight of Lomachenko's career. And when I say big fight, I mean one of those fights where you could see, okay, this is a Clash of the Titans matchup, excuse me. Teofimo Lopez, I believe, has a real chance in this fight. He's got great power. He's got the size advantage over Lomachenko. It's just going to be very interesting to see how Teofimo Lopez tries to establish his advantages in the fight. It's going to be interesting to see whether Lomachenko will be able to handle them or not. And I've seen some other boxing channels say this as well. There's a couple of them out there that I've seen. One is Boxing Wave and also the Hatman Strikes Back. I watch both of those channels. Both of those I find to be somewhat objective, unlike a lot of the other boxing channels that I see. And on both of them are saying the same thing. There's a lot of questions that are going to need to be answered in this fight. Teofimo Lopez, even though in my opinion he is an A-class fighter, he is inexperienced compared to Lomachenko when it comes to elite class competition. And when you take a look at Lomachenko, Lomachenko is probably the most complete fighter when it comes to every category out there today, at least in boxing. So when it comes down to it, this is going to be a very interesting bout. So just to give you my prediction, who do I think is going to win this fight and why? Personally, just to get straight to the point, I'm going with Vasyl Lomachenko. I think Vasyl Lomachenko is going to win this fight by decision. Would I be surprised if it's by knockout? I would not be overly surprised. This reminds me a lot of the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder rematch, and to the point to where how it's going to end up. If one side does win, it's most likely going to be by knockout, and that was Deontay Wilder's side, and that's by Teofimo's side, because most likely I don't see Teofimo beating Lomachenko by decision, but who knows, he might surprise us. But on the other side, on Tyson Fury's side in the Deontay Wilder rematch, most likely, if he won, it was going to be by unanimous decision, but you wouldn't be overly surprised if you saw a stoppage either. It's the same thing in this fight when it comes down to it overall. I would not be surprised if I saw Vasyl Lomachenko stop Teofimo Lopez. He has very good power. The main question I have in this fight is just what are both gentlemen going to do? I think I already know pretty much what Lomachenko is going to do. He likes to pressure his opponents. He likes to break them down. He likes to back them up. What is Teofimo Lopez going to do? And that's really the main question overall that I have. Is he going to be on the back foot and try to out-counter Lomachenko? Is he going to just try to wing that right hand down the middle, down the pipe? Is he going to try to pressure him? Is he going to go towards him and try to bully him? I really don't know what Lopez's strategy is here. Now, I watched Blood, Sweat, and Tears, I believe, they're like little video introductions for Lomachenko and Lopez, sort of like the what they used to show like on Showtime and also HBO. Sometimes showing something about the fighters before overall they go into the ring. Let me decline that there. I don't know what that's about, but anyway, basically showing stuff about the fighter, before they go into the ring. And Lopez's father, who is Lopez's trainer, said overall that, someone needs to go up there, they need to bully him, they need to overall pressure him. So that makes me think that Lopez might actually establish a strategy that has not been used with Lomachenko for quite a while. He might try to pressure him, he might try to go up there, he might try to bully him around, he might try to use his weight and his power advantage against Lomachenko. Now, the big question is that a good idea? Because when we talk about it, man, Lomachenko is an excellent pressure fighter. And he is going to have to watch out for Lopez's power. He is going to have to watch out for his weight and his size. And Lomachenko has not looked as dominant in the 135-pound weight class as he has in the lower ones. And that's to be somewhat expected because you're facing guys that have longer reach than you significantly, that are bigger than you. Some of these guys don't even belong at the 135-pound weight class. They belong at 140, sometimes maybe even higher. So it is what it is. And Lomachenko himself is not a natural 135 pounder. So it is what it is. But when it comes down to the overall, will he be able to handle that weight? Will he be able to handle that power? Because we've seen him have a little bit of problems. Not, it was overblown, but we've seen him have a little bit of trouble with Luke Campbell. We've seen him have maybe a little bit with Jose Pedraza, although that might have been more the shoulder. Or it might just be that with these fighters, Lomachenko kind of takes the Mayweather approach and he doesn't want to exhaust himself within the early rounds, or it takes him a while to figure out his opponents. And by a while, I mean 3 to 4 rounds, and then, he downloads whatever data he needs to, and then he just goes in there and he does business. All right? But it is what it is. Anyway, when it comes down to it, it's going to be very interesting to see how Lomachenko handles the weight and the size. But the thing is that if Lopez does go in there and try to pressure Lomachenko, if he goes in there and he tries to beat up and bully Lomachenko, I'm wondering how well that's going to work as well. Because Lomachenko is a very excellent pressure fighter. He's very good on the inside. I also think that he can box a little bit on the back foot as well, very well, although I don't see it extremely often from him. I have seen it a couple of times, but I don't see that happening. I think that if Lopez does try to bully him, he'll be on the outside a little bit, but most likely he's going to try to meet up with him in the middle of the ring a whole lot more than some people think. He'll circle around him. It'll look a lot like, I think, the Jason Sosa fight, if Lopez overall, does really try to do that, and if Lomachenko is, going to be successful. But when it comes down to it, one thing you also have to worry about if you're Team Lopez, you also have to worry about Lomachenko's power. You don't just have to worry about one side's power in this one. You have to worry about both of their power ability, because Lomachenko, and a lot of people don't seem to mention this, but Lomachenko is a very excellent power puncher. I think he's a very underrated power puncher. Lomachenko, in my opinion, debatably has A-class power. I would give him a rating of probably A- when it comes to power. He's not on that same level of Gervonta Tank Davis or Teofimo Lopez, but for someone who's not a natural 135 pounder, his power seems to translate very decently well. You can tell that he hurts his opponents. He hurt Jose Pedraza multiple times. He hurt Luke Campbell multiple times. He knocked out Anthony Crawler, a guy that I'm not even sure if he was knocked out before the Lomachenko fight. If he was, then I think it was only one other time in his career. But that's a guy overall who had 2 very tough fights with Jorge Linares and didn't get stopped either time. So it is what it is. I mean, so Lomachenko's got great power as well. And if you're going in there and you're trying to bully Lomachenko with the type of angles that he likes to shoot from, with the movements, the footwork, the great experience, and combined with the power and the speed and the defense that he has, is that going to work? So another question is, what is the strategy here? Do they have a plan B? And on top of that, when it comes down to it, what do they truly think is the best thing to do? Do they think overall it's going to be to, pressure Lomachenko and bully him around the ring? Or do they think it's going to be on the back foot and try to out-counter him, wait for him to make a mistake? Perhaps you actually might want to bully around Lomachenko a little bit. I think the best strategy for Lopez is to do a little bit of both. I don't think it's to do just completely one or the other. But it wouldn't be a bad idea, I think, to somewhat try and bully around Lomachenko. I think that's not the worst game plan in the world. But to do that, you're going to have to be very careful. You're going to have to be very defensively responsible. You're going to have to keep your hands up at all times. And sometimes when I see that from Lopez, I'm not going to say that he's the worst defensive fighter in the world. I don't think he has the worst defense. But sometimes he should be a little bit more responsible defensively. He should keep his hands up a little bit more. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting. This is this is a very interesting fight. This is another A-class fighter, in my opinion, that Lomachenko is about to fight here, and it's just very interesting to see how it's going to turn out. I'm very, very excited for this fight. So that's really about it from my perspective. Just trying to think of any ending notes that I should really leave off on. I'm going with Lomachenko by decision. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a stoppage on either side. On top of that, I think that both gentlemen are very, very tough, but we're also going to see a lot of things in this fight. Is Lomachenko as great as we think he is? In my opinion, Lomachenko is a #1 pound-for-pound fighter. He's going to have to get past Teofimo Lopez to not only remain on top of that point, but to live up to some of this hype that has been around him. Lopez is bigger than him, and, he is more, at least physically gifted than Lomachenko. Well, I won't completely say that, but when it comes down to it, he does have more power than him, I guess is what I'll say. And he does have more weight than him. He is bigger. So we'll see how Lomachenko handles that. It's going to be very interesting. As for Lopez, I'm very interested to see what the strategy is going to be. I'm very interested to see how much heart this kid has. I think he has a decent amount of heart. I think to step in the boxing ring, you got to have a great amount of heart anyway. But Lomachenko's got excellent stamina, excellent combinations, excellent power, excellent speed, excellent movement. Sometimes he embarrasses people in there. And if he goes in there and after about the first 3 rounds, which is what I'm predicting, the first half of the fight might be decently close. But the middle rounds and the latter rounds, if Lopez does not get him with some hard shots, overall, if he does not go to the body early or if he's not able to hit him to the body early, Lomachenko most likely is going to win that fight. I think that'll shoot to the body. I think that'll shoot, multiple punches, and we might even see a few combinations from Lopez here, which he's not usually a combination puncher, but that doesn't mean that he's going to land all that against Lomachenko. And with Lomachenko's stamina, his tenacity, his just constant pace of offensive ability, I just don't know if Lopez really has the durability to deal with all that. But we'll see what happens. It'll be very, very interesting. I'm very excited for this fight. Hopefully y'all are too. I'm going with Lomachenko. I might also do some reactions to some other videos because I like to do certain reactions to what other people think. It'll be very interesting. But I'm going with Lomachenko in this fight by unanimous decision. I expect the 8 rounds to 4, maybe 9 rounds to 3 fight by Lomachenko. It'll be very interesting, but I'm just not sure if Lopez kind of has the diversity of skills or enough of a diversity of skills to beat Lomachenko. So we'll see what happens. But that's really about all for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going with Lomachenko. Tune in on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be a very great fight. That's all for now.